Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from California is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Hur, I was moved by your parents' immigrant story and how that has shaped you. And their story is a story that so many of us know through our constituents. It's the story of America. It's a story that the guy who appointed you would end if he was in charge again. It's a story that most of the folks on the other side of the aisle seek to block every day in this room, but it's a story that's persuasive. You want your report to be received with credibility, is that right?
My goal was to provide a thorough explanation of my decision to the Attorney General as I was required to do. And as I said in my opening statement, I felt that I needed to show my work.
And you want to be received as credible, right?
That would be helpful and laudable, yes.
Well, a lot has changed since 2018 for the person who appointed you, former President Trump. Since you were appointed, he was impeached for leveraging 350 million U.S. taxpayer dollars over Ukraine to get dirt on President Biden. He was then impeached a second time for inciting an insurrection. He was charged for possessing classified documents and obstructing justice. He was charged for paying for the silence of a porn star. He was charged in Georgia for his role in January 6th. He was charged in the District of Columbia for his role in January 6th. He owes $400 million to the state of New York for defrauding the state through his taxes, and he has been judged a rapist. You want to be perceived, understandably, as credible, and so I want to first see if you will pledge to not accept an appointment from Donald Trump if he is elected again as president.
Congressman, I'm not here to testify
Seems like an
today
easy
about
answer.
what will happen in the
Considering
future.
what I just laid out.
I'm here to talk about the report and the work that went into it. And
But you don't want to be associated with that guy again, do you?
Congressman, I'm not here to offer any opinions about what may or may not happen in the future. I'm here to talk about the work that went into the report, which I stand by.
There were no limits on you as to what you could charge President Biden by the Attorney General, is that right?
The decisions that I made that are reflected in the report are my own.
And you did not bring any charges, is that correct?
Correct.
There were no limits on John Durham and his investigation of the prior administration when he was special counsel, is that right?
I don't believe I have the information required to answer the question about the Durham investigation.
Well, he sat in the same chair that you're sitting in. He told us that he also investigated President Biden and President Obama and did not bring any charges. President Biden sat for an interview with you over 2 days for approximately 10 hours, is that right?
A little over 5 hours, Congressman.
Over 2 days.
Correct.
You know, that's in sharp contrast to a guy who did not sit for an interview when the Mueller investigation took place. That was Donald Trump. Did not sit for an interview when he was impeached in this committee room by the Judiciary Committee. Did not sit for an interview when the second impeachment occurred and he was invited to sit for an interview for his role in January 6th. And did not sit for an interview in the January 6th January 6th case or the classified documents case. Chairman also has not sat for an interview in his own subpoena, but Joe Biden has. I now want to turn you to the transcript and day 1, page 47. You said to President Biden, you appear to have a photographic understanding and recall of the House. Did you say that to President Biden?
Those words do appear on page 47 of the transcript.
Photographic is what you said. Is that right?
That word does appear on page 47 of the transcript.
Never appeared in your report, though. Is that correct? The word photographic?
That does not appear in my report.
I now want to show you and play a video of what is absolutely not photographic.
In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous, gutless coward.
We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation.
And I watch our police and our firemen down in 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center.
And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won.
This is the very definition of totalitarianism.
And let me begin by wishing you a beautiful, look, you remember this? Do you remember?
God bless the United States. The windmills are driving them crazy. They're driving
I'm the gentleman.
whales, I think, a little batty.
Time
And I
the
went to
gentleman
Puerto
has
Rico,
expired.
and I met with the president of the
The gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from North Carolina.